Hey everybody, how's it going? Before we get into this episode of The Basement Dwellers, I kind of wanted to give you some updates to the channel. First and foremost, I'd like to thank one of my best buddies in the whole wide world, Robert, for joining me on the podcast moving forward. He's an awesome co-host, and I'm happy to share some laughs with him. We will have a new Instagram name. It's the same Instagram, but a new name. The new name is now basement_dwellers_podcast. There's an S after dweller. Also, some new intro and outro music coming along, so that's going to be really sweet, something that will be tailor-made more to me and Robert, and we'll finally get his name into the intro without me crudely pasting on top of it. Lastly, I'd like to promote the email one more time, tbdmanchild@gmail.com. I've been getting some awesome emails from you guys. I'd love to read them more on the podcast when I can. Keep it coming. And thank you guys so much. I know it's not a lot, but we're at 63 subscribers now on YouTube. It means the world to me. I can't wait to get to 100. With that being said, let's get into the episode.
Welcome to The Basement Dweller with your host, Jacob Santoro, a.k.a. your favorite man-child.
And Robert. Yeah, you like that little addition I made a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, that was excellent timing.
I'm a little sad we're going to be changing the intro soon.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of funny, just to add that little and Robert, Well, the whole joke was that I do, I have the equipment, I edit and stuff like that, and he's my co-host, so I was like, I'll give you where credit's due. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I chipped in for none of this shit. I just came in and started riding the coattails to all the fame.
Sounded like, he finally found a friend.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, I better edit my friend in.
Yeah, pretty much, Welcome to episode 14? Yeah, 14.
I think so.
Yeah, episode 14,
13.
Yep, of The Basement Dwellers with me, your host, and, this guy, Robert.
That's me.
The other host. With us today, we have the super funny, straight out of Cali, Mikey Mckernan.
Hold on, we haven't even heard anything from him yet. Don't start.
What's up?
Don't start giving him super funny titles.
That's all good.
Welcome, Mikey.
I'm just kidding.
Thank
man. You seem great. I like the mustache.
Thank you.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm so glad to always talk about my mustache on a non-video podcast.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
I mean, it leaves
That's
everyone
right.
to the imagination, but I mean, It looks
Exactly.
fantastic. You're the first, when
That's
I
how
was...
you get looked up.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, when I was describing to him, I was like, "Oh, hey, I got my buddy Mikey from, he's an LA comic and he wants to come do the podcast." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "Yeah, he's got a super thick mustache and he kind of looks like an old 1970s bass player."
Wow.
Yeah.
You look a little like Frank Zappa.
I get it all the time.
I was just about to ask, so I mean, I'm sure you hear that in your day-to-day
Yeah,
life.
no. The more worst it is, did I say that correctly?
The more worse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worse it is, the better the Halloween costume.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, my favorite Halloween costume is like one year I wanted to be an Amish woman, and I just found this like corduroy dress and a bonnet and just braided my hair, like 2 braids.
Nice.
I didn't do it.
Oh, that would have been great.
And then everybody's like, "You look like Laura Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie."
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, no, I got that in the closet.
Where were you for last Halloween?
I didn't dress up.
Oh, what was the last time you dressed up?
It was Laura Ingalls.
Okay, so that was it?
It's like a go-to. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like,
It's a
oh,
hit.
fuck, I'm going to go to a
That's
Halloween
the bread
party.
and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every time I would show up, people go, "I love your costume. My favorite part is the mustache." I'm like, that's
Do people think that's
not
fake?
not part of the mustache or not part of the costume. Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, people are, they're weird.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like clearly a real mustache.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But some people in LA, everyone thinks you're like, "Oh, the image, it's all not real. It's temporary."
And that was part 1 of our podcast on Mikey's Mustache. Tune in for part 2.
Yeah.
On his mustache again?
Yeah.
I got bits.
Nah, dude, seriously, thank you so much for coming.
Dude.
Like I
I'm
was
down.
saying before the podcast, you're my first kind of out-of-state guest, so it's really cool to have you. I got a lot of memories with, with you and around the scene that, you were still a part of, and that we'll definitely talk about. But the first thing I was actually going to say, and it's been a burning question, is how is... So I didn't even say, so Mikey here is a stand-up comedian, and he's actually performing out here in Phoenix for the weekend. So you've been doing comedy for how long?
13 years.
13 years. So during COVID, I mean, how was that scene?
Well, for me, it was amazing. Because 2019, 2018, I went really hard. I wanted to do 100 days in a row, getting up in the night.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 125.
Congrats,
Nice.
dude.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
awesome.
I kind of burned out though. I got like a bunch of anxiety because it was like the constant, like, oh, I got to keep coming up with new stuff and stuff like that. So when 2020 started rolling around, I was like, oh, I'm going to chill out. All right. I'm going to take my time, not be so pressured and not worried so much about the grind, make a little more of the quality compared to the quantity of what I usually do. Because I would love to be like, yo, I got up 6 times to 6 different places, and that's the grind. And that's such a invigorating feeling for pursuing, whatever trade you're doing. And comedy doesn't take nights off in Los Angeles. So the scene was pretty gnarly because, when it first started emerging, it was of course everybody who was like, we don't give a shit about, this pandemic. We don't want to wear masks. So it's backyards, parks, and stuff
I saw
like
that.
So it sucked.
Yeah.
So I didn't do too much because I had a roommate move back to the East Coast, so I had to move home for a period.
Are you from California?
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole life, SoCal, represent.
Represent.
But I don't have a SoCal sticker.
Oh.
I don't have a truck.
So then how do we even know,
I mean,
We'll fact check
That's
it.
how that's how I represent. So.
Okay. Well, so you're from SoCal. So you're from like Los Angeles?
No, I grew up in the Inland Empire, Ranch Cucamonga.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that because I know that's going to go into something I desperately want to talk
Yeah,
about, and
I
we'll
know.
get there. That made me really happy.
It's funny, too, because there's a reference to the title of your podcast, too, that question that you have.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
that topic.
Oh,
so.
yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that in a little bit. No, and I always like to ask this. Did you end up getting COVID?
No.
No? Yeah, me neither. It's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Fuck you guys.
So this guy
Stay
got
home.
it. Yeah, this guy definitely got it. Our roommate actually had it. And what's crazy is the day that she discovered that she had it, literally an hour before, we all shared a bong.
Yeah.
But like we never got it. And we were
So
talking
funny.
about like exit strategies, like, okay, like if I get it, I'm gonna sleep in the office, stuff like that. Never. Like it's so interesting.
And it wasn't even a huge deal.
Yeah, because you said so you didn't get sick.
No, man. All I did was lose my taste and smell.
So that's what I wish. I tell people I wish I would have done that, so I would have eaten better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have definitely dropped some LBs if I got COVID.
Yeah, no, I was with my parents, so that was like, all right, well, I can't go anywhere.
So I got to ask, how is it? The time that you did, what is it like just living with your parents at kind of like an adult age?
Well, it's actually at first it's extremely embarrassing because you're like, oh, I don't want to be here, and I can't like try to like talk to girls and stuff.
Yeah.
They have their own place, but I'm in my hometown, so that's really rare.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was actually amazing. Because it's like I got to spend time hanging out with my mom. She's retired. We just did puzzles all day.
That's
I
great.
would read for like 3 to 4 hours a day, and spend hanging out with my dad. And so that was really the best thing because it's like, oh, is it the end of the world? Probably not, but hey, at least we can, I got a little time to hang with.
So
my
yeah,
folks.
I mean, being in California, I mean, you guys had so much more crazy restrictions. I mean, it must have felt like War of the Worlds, man. Like,
yeah, it was insane. It still kind of is. Right now, there's another mask mandate, and so everybody's.
Oh, they put it back?
Yeah, everybody's freaking out. They're just like, oh, it's gonna lock down, but
I feel like we're heading that direction too. Here.
I don't think we're heading that direction. Ducey, our governor, was just like, fuck it, dude, no masks. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. It's weird. It's weird
super
after.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, after a year, and I was just talking about this with Ali, is that, even after like a year of wearing a mask everywhere, I mean, like we go into Walmart with no mask, we feel like a piece of shit. Like I feel like someone's waiting to like record us.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's kind of the norm here.
Yeah.
And,
I do gas stations no mask now, and it's like, it still feels super weird. I'm in there for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out quick.
Yeah.
It's so weird because it was like I remember we weren't afraid of catching a cold and stuff,
Right.
And so that's where I've always been like, I don't want to be afraid,
So another thing I was going to ask is I'm sure during 2020, maybe like the end and going into 2021, I mean, how many awesome jokes did you hear about COVID?
I mean, it's still going on. That's what's so funny because, it's definitely a conscious, whatever you want to call like shift, change, movement, transition, what have yous, that it's like, what are people going to want to talk about? And you always have to remember, I mean, it's very hard to get that in the open mic scene in Los Angeles because majority of the audience is comedians. So when you need to speak to real audience members, you're like, yo, what are they talking about compared to like, oh, as comics, we didn't give a shit. We're outside doing comedy wherever we can, trying to live it up, what have yous. So people being in their house. But it's kind of fun though because now people want to go out and watch comedy and stuff like that. So
Oh, I'm sure. And this is something that Robert and I were discussing. I mean, when the mask restrictions went down, everything picked up back up. Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, the littlest things. It's kind of like I made the joke. It's almost like when you're in prison. It's like you'd be amazed at the stuff that you miss when you're in prison. It's like,
absolutely.
yeah.
yeah, even Robert and I, like, it's like we live here, and even though we don't openly talk about it, it's like if we go somewhere with no masks, it's kind of like we look at each other like, are we the assholes here?
It's so funny because I started. This is like my fourth or fifth time being in Arizona since 21. And I love it because it's been so laxadays on the mask. So I'm like, oh, this is great. I like being out here,
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, and I mean, obviously, like, I want people to be safe and stuff like that. It's just from my own perspective and my own experience. I mean, I was fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, I hope. I mean, did you get vaccinated?
Yeah, dude. Shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get vaccinated?
Not yet, but me and Tam are planning on doing it like this week.
So did they recommend you not doing it because you did get COVID?
No, nobody recommended me anything, man. I haven't heard shit about COVID since I got back to work.
Because so Robert has two parents in the medical field, and I was going to ask you, like, did you ever get any kind of like pressure from your parents to get it done?
No. They asked me if I was going to do it. They had to do it because they both work at a hospital. But like they just asked me what I thought about it, and like
they just didn't care either way.
Yeah, because I mean I guess as healthcare workers they've seen how it hits, and like I don't know. I really don't know how people like quantify what we're gonna do something about. Like my parents are just like, fuck it, get the vaccination if you want to. I don't think it's a fucking problem. But like I also respect if you don't get it because COVID's gonna hit anyways.
I think it's funny. Your parents are like in the medical. They're like, yeah, dude, we've seen death. We've seen people die, get sick. If you want to do it.
I mean, they've been
deal.
like, because they've been there for like decades, man. They've
Yeah.
both been nurses for fucking ever. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they've seen it all.
they've seen a whole ton.
So
of
I've
shit.
known Robert since high school, and like, yeah, they would just tell like crazy stories and stuff.
I believe
like
it,
that.
man.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I don't know. I used to think that being a nurse just makes you one of the most interesting people in the world because his dad is one of my favorite people of all time. Actually, he would literally like in the same day he'd tell you some crazy story about some dude with a fucking light bulb in his ass, and then like literally 6 hours later we're on the couch and he's over here just drinking beer he made in the fucking bathtub. I'm like, yeah, that fucking rocks,
They gotta have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, and especially and especially with all like this stuff, like you kind of have to. And I'm sure you hear that stuff all the time. It's kind of weird talking to you. Like I get a little bit tense asking you questions, especially when it comes to comedy, because I feel like you hear it all the time. Like
I don't give a shit, dude. This is where I get the gab, and this is your dome, dude.
Right. Well, I mean, I know you in the sense of like I've spent time with you. I mean, I had a cigarette while we like talked and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we were
that.
outside hanging at an open mic at a really shitty, terrific open mic.
The VFW.
Yeah.
I loved that place, man.
Yeah, Cole and Spence, they live together, so they got a house, and they they got a house, and they live together. I'm sorry, they're sharing notes.
No, I'm
not
just
trying to tell them. I'm like, what are you guys writing about me?
Okay,
Now that you won't.
we're just saying, just like, hey, he's
I
cute,
couldn't
isn't
read
he?
your kindergarten
I know,
handwriting.
my
I'm
fucking-
sorry.
So is that place still open?
As a bar, yeah, I believe.
Not
but
as a-
they're not doing a mic. No, but Spence and
Yeah.
Cole,
How is he doing?
they're doing great. They got a house, and so they do an open mic in the back of their house,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's pretty fun. It's one where a lot of people congregate for comics wise, so it's like, oh, this is cool. But
Is it congregate or congregate?
it's probably that one.
Tomato kind of thing. So you were mentioning
I'm
like
terrible at speaking,
I'm
but
pretty
I
sure it's
did.
congregate. I'm a bit of a grammar bitch, so
No, it's good that I'm terrible at speaking, and I want to get up in front of people.
But I mean, hey,
those are the best people to talk on a
Honestly,
stage, to be
yeah.
honest.
Well, yeah, because I want the audience to just be like, this guy's.
right? Well, that's what I mean. Well, no, I mean that's why they come here. I mean, you definitely have that personality of like maybe you're not the one to steal the show from a party, but if I went to that house party, I'm glad I talked to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
That's a pretty good compliment. you
yeah.
know?
So like,
Like
you
a
could-
fly on the wall deal.
It's a
yeah.
good credit. Well,
So-
you're like, yeah, this guy's really funny, but he's not out there trying to be like, oh my god, you just yucking it up.
So can I talk about real quick a
Yes.
quick story about like one of my favorite bits that you do?
Oh no.
So
This is awesome.
I moved to Los Angeles in 2017, 16, 17, right? I don't know. Do you remember?
LA?
Yeah,
Fuck, I have
16,
no idea, dude.
I think. Anyways, so I didn't want to miss a beat because I went out there for a specific purpose. So I downloaded or I went to the website that everyone talked about. Like, you go to this website, there's open mics everywhere.
Yeah,
I update it every day, and I think so. It was somewhere. You know where it was? It was right off the subway. It was almost by Chinatown. It was a little bar, and right next to the bar was a members only club, but it was specifically for Asian people, Asian dudes. Do you know what I'm talking?
Awesome.
No. Oh, so I wish I remembered the name. And do you remember Teresa Westbrook?
Yep.
Yeah. So she would know because that's where I met her and Chris. But
I remember Lexington.
No, maybe I could be wrong. But anyway,
you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna go bam.
So
I remember.
So for people who don't know, and a lot of these things, and please correct me if I'm wrong if it's changed, but you literally just wrote you got a number, so you put your name in a hat. And you would just get a number when you could go on. So it's obviously the best part was 1, 1 to 5. But if you got 21, 22, no one's going to stick around to listen to you, because everyone's...
What was that?
I feel like...
I don't know.
It's going to drive me crazy, but it's literally off of it was 7th Street and something, but it was right off the Metro. You could literally walk up the stairs to the Metro, take a 1-minute walk, and it's there.
Man, I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
I've done too much.
Yeah, but I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was speaking with Chris, and you were on, and I remember hearing from inside is the thing that you do in a lot of your bits was the ha,
the boo-haws.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I walked inside, and not every joke, but every other joke you would do, you would finish with that, and it was so universally fucking funny, and to me, because again, if this isn't what you're going for, this is what I interpret it as, is that it kind of made you chuckle in the fact of that's silly. You know what I mean? At bare bones, it was just fucking silly. It's silly noise. It's what you laughed at as a kid and moving forward, And I'll never forget, you were talking to somebody in a group, something completely different, and you were like, yeah, blah, 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 something, a bar name. And I was like, I gotta go. I literally followed you to this place, and ever since then, every time, I think it was every Wednesday, was at the VFW, and it's just loved listening to you. So
thanks, appreciate it. Yeah.
So where did you come up with?
Catchphrase.
Where did you come up with that?
It's just I would literally tell bad jokes to my friends, and I would make that noise. I think I just started with making the noise just to be obnoxious because that's what I'm really good at.
Yeah.
And they're dude on stage. I'm like, absolutely not. That's hacky. That's terrible. People, I don't, comics with a catchphrase. That's old school. Nobody's really into that. I don't think young people be into it. Mm-hmm. And I started doing it on stage, and people liked it.
Yeah.
And I said, God damn it. Now I have to do a catchphrase forever. Did you ever watch the Netflix doc, Me and Andy with Jim Carrey?
Oh, yeah. He showed. I think you showed me.
I've never seen
No,
it.
okay, so it wasn't him. I lied.
Jim's he's in character. He went full meth, and he's you live by the catchphrase, you buy the catchphrase.
Yeah, the thank you very much kind of thing. And you never seen that?
Nah, man.
So do you know of it?
Yeah, no, I definitely.
So it's Man on the Moon.
Netflix.
Yeah, it's about Jim Carrey's method acting when he played Andy Kaufman. And when I was a kid, my grandpa showed me who Andy Kaufman was. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of my first ones. And I remember as a kid, I was on the playground doing the Mighty Mouse thing.
Yeah.
We'd just be playing tag, and I would do the here I come, and it's so that's where I kind of started was older stuff, and I wasn't allowed to watch. So back when I'm saying newer stuff, this was probably at a time of 2002, 3. So I wasn't really allowed to watch newer stuff because of my mom. She was like, you're 6, I don't want you.
Yeah.
But I grew up listening to Howard Stern. So
right on. Do you have any older siblings?
I have an older sister, but we're not very close. She's got a different mom. She lives in Kansas.
Got it.
She's kind of I love her and all, but she's kind of a stick in the mud, go with Christ kind of.
Bump on a log.
Yeah, kind of thing.
That's a bummer, dude.
But no, I mean, definitely. Kind of, and this is something I want to talk about too. But just to kind of transition into it, when I was a kid, that was hilarious to me. When he read The Great Gatsby, that was hilarious to me. So putting people in awkward situations, I would do it to my mom all the time. We would be at the grocery store, and I would just start talking rap lyrics, and just wait until she caught on or stuff like that.
I love doing that.
Yeah, and so then I moved to my I was obsessed with Andrew Dice Clay when I was 10 years old. And I would just walk around it's hickory dickory, and that was cool. So when I heard you do that, I was that just reminds me of such nostalgic. It's not.
That's cool.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mean to geek out or like.
No,
nerd,
dude,
like,
come
you
on,
know.
man. Stop being. Just be real.
So it was.
I
cool.
appreciate
so
it.
like, but I've been telling, and before we get into kind of your origins, it's funny you mentioned to Robert before the podcast, is he a comic? I've been telling this dude since we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, and like you said, you would make that noise to just kind of be funny with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Our main humor pretty much came from like inside jokes that we saw from like TV and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But like this dude, I mean, like, and
well, my sense of humor's really devolved in like the last few years, I think.
it's real shit posting kind of.
Well, yeah, because I don't listen to music anymore. I listen exclusively to Come Town. So
Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
it's
So-
like that's the only thing I do when I'm at work, dude. All I do is listen to Come Town, and like, dude, now I can't help but just listen. Like, if I listen to music, I'm just in my head trying to turn it gay, and that's what makes me laugh now.
So just to give some backstory, like,
So I really have to like work hard.
Yeah.
just to-
That's pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
that right there. If you went up there on a mic and said that, I think people would get it.
and but that's essentially like what he said was our humor now is like, we listen to these dudes, and like our last episode, our guest, our friend Bodie made a joke about like he did like a Heath Ledger Batman impersonation, but then you add things like I fuck him in his ass,
which
Batman.
is never
like
not funny.
it's
dude.
never not funny. You know what I mean? Just dumb shit that we're all aware that I don't give a shit. Like if you're, I've openly mentioned that I'm like bisexual on the podcast, but nothing. At the end of the day, it's funny just to be like fuck his ass, Batman. Like you know what I mean? Like hilarious.
It's hilarious. Every character you can think of, it's so funny.
Which actually brings me to a point where of my least favorite, and I'm definitely biased. My least favorite comedy right now is still Impersonators. It drives me insane. Like when I hear it live, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like and off mic, I would love to tell you the person who I'm talking about, and maybe you know, but I don't.
You want to talk off the mic?
Yeah.
Just mute everybody right now.
Yeah.
You got to bleep this one.
Right. Were you gonna say something?
I get it.
Oh yeah. So you hate impersonations. How do you feel about like Frank Caliendo?
So like again, when I was a kid, that was funny. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But when I see and I this is how I personally feel. If someone gets paid to do like what like the funny guy in The Office does,
Yeah.
like what if Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother talked to Jamie Lannister? I think it'd be something like this. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like, it's cool. Like it's a funny thing, but to do a worldwide tour with it, it's just not for me. I mean,
When I was young in comedy, there was a guy who went up on an open mic. Oh man, I forget his name. And he's like, anybody here like impersonations?
yes.
Or anybody here like impressions?
Oh shit.
And no one really,
Sorry. I just
no one responded. He goes,
Right.
if you do, then you need to get the fuck out
Oh.
because they're lame.
That was great.
So I love it. I mean, it's one of the just the pages of the book of stand-up
Yeah,
comedy.
sure.
It's
He
an
should have
art
just
form,
closed his
so
set on that.
I know a guy right now who's really funny, and he's got a bunch of impersonations, and,
Yeah.
I enjoy it. But see, for me, it's like I feel like I'm one of those. I have such a label on my stand-up act because I do catchphrase. And it's. But I have a kinship to being part of like, the circus, being part of these like weird acts, part of the misfits. Who like,
But I like that. I like
Yeah.
that, you respect the fact that even though it's not your thing, you know what I mean? You're all in the same kind of cohesive
Absolutely.
family in a way.
yeah,
you know?
there's the community of stand up. Everybody will talk about how much they love it and the camaraderie and stuff. I mean, there's the dark, the dark side
Sure.
of it, of course, too.
Camaraderie.
Yeah. The camaraderie. See how you were really deep, and then he comes in and just makes
No.
a funny joke.
But
And,
it's
Oh, it's not even funny. I made it come.
Yeah.
Instead, yeah. Like that's.
you mentioned you were gonna hang out with a lady after this.
you're gonna make me talk about that
You not
yeah.
want?
Oh,
do you not want
Phoenix
to?
lady.
if I get a text back, which it's not looking good.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, dude.
It's all good. You know me. I'm a silly guy. So some girls are like, he's probably a
How are you doing in that department, if I may ask? We both have girlfriends, so we
being a
can't.
silly guy.
Yeah. Well,
It's
with
going great. Everybody's like, this guy probably doesn't deal with
He's
depression.
an excessively silly man.
This guy's happy all the time. I want him around. Psych.
Right.
Does your mustache get longer?
Yeah. People always ask me if I eat it. I'm like, it's on the menu, dude. I eat it every time.
Oh, so do you? So that's my problem. So it gets somewhat to a decent level, and
Yeah.
then I'll start picking at it.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. It's like helps me, think about other things in my set before I go on stage.
How long have you been growing your hair and your mustache collectively?
2005, my hair. The mustache started with a tradition of in the NHL, how the playoffs, they grow out their playoff beards.
Yeah.
Well, me and my brother are diehard Anaheim Ducks fans.
Okay.
And so in 2007, we were like, we know we can't grow beards. Let's grow mustaches. And they won. They went to the finals and won. So we both grew out our mustaches. And I have a fuller mustache than my older brother. So it's kind of like my old man's always owned one his whole life.
Yeah.
And then I knew I can grow a better mustache than my older brother. So it's kind of like why I have it. My brother split his lip when he was a little kid. Mm-hmm. And my mom sewed it back together herself.
Oh, shit.
He doesn't really have a gnarly scar. Actually, now he's getting older, and if he grows facial hair, you can see it. But he just had like the tiniest little scar. Dude, we were super poor growing up. So my mom had 6 kids. 7.
Wow.
And so
are you oldest, youngest?
I'm the youngest of 7.
Wow. How old's your oldest?
Man, 49 or 50. He's around there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
So you got old parents.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time.
Oh, you just said they were tired, so.
Yeah, my dad's still at it. Like, by the time they were raising me, I was raised by teenagers. Like, that's why I asked you if you had an older sibling.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I couldn't watch things at 6. I'm like, oh, my parents had no choice. Like,
Right.
I was watching Chucky. They were showing me Pulp Fiction when I was a kid. Like,
So
that rocks.
so I was exposed, which means I'm a big old.
You can so absolutely swear on the podcast. It's fine. I'm the exact opposite. I like to consider myself the oldest.
Yeah.
So I have one older sister, like I told you. She's 30. She's almost 30. But then there's me.
Did you ever grow up with her at all?
No. So the way that it worked is that they divorced before I was even born. My dad's been married 3 times. So he's kind of putting in work right now. Yeah. And, so we're about a 3-4 years age difference. And she would come out for like the summers and stuff like that. And we had a lot of fun when we were kids. Yeah. But, as we got older, like I went out to Kansas for her wedding. And I was like, oh, let's go. Because Kansas has a lot of really cool, like, downtown hip areas. Cool. And I was like, oh, let's go do, like, drink some beers. Let's go bar hopping, stuff like that. And she's like, we had one beer, and she was like, I'm going to call it a night, And then she started talking to me about, like, so did you ever stick around with the whole, like, your faith? And I was like, okay, well, we're going to.
That's the end of that.
Right. So, you have her, and then there's me. My next oldest sibling is 16. I'm 27 almost. Mm-hmm. So I was raising children.
Absolutely.
So I definitely can't relate to that. So you've been doing comedy for 13 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Open mic comedy.
Okay. So did you have the idea, or did you get a lot of like positive pressure from the people around you to start doing?
It also actually, I played ice hockey my whole life.
Cool.
In Southern California. So I've always been a performer.
What position were you?
Forward. And
Sick.
I quit in high school. And then my dad's like, you should get into theater. And
really?
Like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know. And I got into it. I had a lot of stage fright, but I loved it. And so when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to go to LA and be an actor. I only lived like 3 rays away. So, yeah. And when I was doing that, I kind of always knew I should, probably get into stand-up comedy. But I was 18, so I'm like, man, I don't know. So I did a contest when I was 18.
That's awesome.
I don't count that as the time when I started because I did impersonation of someone else doing impersonation. I quoted a whole scene from Dumb and Dumber. So, like, I was really plagiarizing. Like,
that's gold.
Full blown. And so, and you can't do that. But I did that contest, and I did pretty good. I took 3rd place. And then some guy was like, oh, you should come do comedy. I'm like, no, man, I live at home. I don't have any, like, hardships. That's an adult thing. And then I would kind of do it off and on because my friends would play their guitars and play music. So I would kind of MC shows. Okay. We did, like, a few of those. That was a lot of fun. We do, like, on sidewalks.
Because you're a punk dude, right?
I mean, not really, but I grew up with a lot of punk rock. Mm-hmm. I if I can ever play music in a band, it would be punk rock. Like, I'd want to only play in people's fucking, like basements.
Yeah, like the cellars and like stuff. Have 5 people be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that, to me, that's so much fun. But it's so funny because I actually kind of did a show. I kind of did a show at like a punk rock house.
Cool.
But I still wasn't considering doing stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. And then I was always an actor, like when I got out of high school and tried to do that. And so I was like an actor, then I became a comedian, which is like the most LA lame thing I hate to hear. Because like you're just trying to add on your resume. But my idol growing up, 100% has always been Jim Carrey. Okay. And so he got into stand-up. He was impersonating. Yeah. And so I always knew I was going to have to do it, but and then I was looking for people to work with in sketch comedy because I did live sketch comedy. That's when I came up with my sticker. And I loved live sketch comedy. That was probably the most fun I ever had. Like
sketch
if you're,
comedy.
yeah, like if you're an actor performer in comedy, live sketch comedy is hands down. It's better than improv. It's better than stand up.
So you're like a big Mad TV fan?
It was, to be honest, I grew up on In Living Color. Like that's how I.
Oh wow!
I fell in love.
That's
with
a little bit before our time.
Yeah,
Literally,
so
that's how
youngsters.
I'm only 25. Dog,
I found Jim Carrey. I've always enjoyed Living Color. Like there was a couple characters on there that
Yeah.
I just fucking love. Like Bobby Lee is legendary.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so
Love him.
yeah, and so like Whitest Kids You Know, like that stuff was hilarious. I love like Reno 911 was one of my
Whitest
favorites.
Kids is amazing.
So
Yeah.
it's funny you say that. You know, like I was telling you, like our humor growing up together was just like subtle jokes from like TV and stuff we watched.
Yeah.
Whitest Kid You Know, I never saw it, but
Mhm.
when I was a kid, he showed me a video. It's my only skit I've ever actually seen from that show, which was the guy who's looking for a vacuum to put his dick in. And so like even like to this day, so when Allie and I started dating, like she's like, oh, you know, I like whatever, Whitest Kid You Know. I was like, oh, I know one thing, and it was like oh, you don't want that. It'll break your dick off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's like every
you
time
never
we're at the
even
store.
saw the Abraham Lincoln one?
Nope.
Dude?
Never saw
man,
any of
there's
them.
So many.
You know, it's funny you said so. That's really awesome because I can honestly relate, like with the Jim Carrey thing. I fucking love Jim Carrey. I loved everything he's done since I was a kid. When I was a kid, my parents tried to put me into like commercials and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
But because
Where were they? Was this in?
here,
Oh, okay.
it is in Phoenix. So just some backstory. I was born in Simi Valley. I lived there for like a year and a half. I think there was like my dad told me some story about how Richard Ramirez was on the loose, and then we moved out. You know,
Yeah.
and then we moved to Sandusky, Ohio, with my grandparents until I was like 3, and then we come here. I loved Jim Carrey and Austin Powers,
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Impressions all day long. You know,
Yeah.
they killed. You know, in my family audience. But because that stuff's so expensive, like the acting stuff,
absolutely.
you know, they were just like, nah. And I was
Yeah.
like, I could have taken care
It's
of you
not
guys
worth
if you
it.
put in the investment. Is all I'm saying.
Well, it's insane today because nowadays you have to just do it yourself. You have to be a writer, producer, actor, director, editor, audio engineer, whatever. You know?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Jacob's got like half of those right now.
Yeah, I'm
That's
fucking.
good.
We'll
I'm-
get some cameras.
Honestly,
fucking, we're
dude,
good to go.
if it's one thing that COVID taught me was that like literally sitting around and not doing the littlest things that you love is such a waste of fucking time.
Oh,
and
man.
to never
So much.
and never let anyone tell you otherwise, regardless of what it is. Like for example, I picked up hobbies during COVID, and you
Hobbies
know,
are healthy.
and I mean, for example,
Sober
like
hobbies are healthy.
I picked up Warhammer 40K, so like I paint little minis. Like it's just it keeps me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is. I spent too much money.
No, I've
been.
I
But
can
we,
tell you all sorts.
I
That
started
paint
my
job
band.
looks like
I
shit, by the
started
way.
my band during COVID. You know, it's like you got to do something. You know,
Yeah, it's
So
so
I-
funny because I literally took time off. I was like, I'm not doing shit.
but you know, but because I remember
I
you
read a lot.
saying, I remember you saying that you were wanting to do 100 shows a night. I was forced to do one show a week by Chris
yeah,
because I have this problem where if I'm not instantly killing it, I want to stop doing it. You know, and Robert and I also come from, you know, a little bit of the nerd aspect. We're both huge fans of fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we would spend hours and days on one game, but because we feel like we're not progressing, we just kind of move on. I mean, can you agree with that, you know?
Dude, like I don't even play fighting games anymore. I'm retro FPS god.
Yeah, he likes playing old games like Doom, you know?
that's dope.
Yeah, so what was I going to say? There was one other thing I wanted to bring up
Wait.
about.
Was I talking about my story?
Can I ask Mike a question real quick?
Yeah.
What Dumb and Dumber scene did you do?
It's our pets' heads are falling off. The whole scene, I do both of them.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry. I
it's
feel like
super plagiarism.
I
but
definitely went on a
didn't know.
tangent when
It's
you were
all
telling
good.
your story. Do you remember where you were?
Yeah, I was talking about sketch comedy, and I was
Yes.
looking for a guy. I found a guy on the internet who lived in Burbank, and he was really into Buster Keaton. So he was
Yeah.
like, I want to do black and white sketches.
Nice.
So I'm like, I am absolutely down for that.
Yeah.
But I get extremely bashful and shy when it comes to like trying to be like, oh yeah, no, I don't know if I like that idea or
Really?
you know. And I don't know, man. Like I have to get over myself. That's like my biggest obstacle in life. is
Well, like you
obviously
said at the
myself.
beginning, I mean, it's like I would never think someone like you, who on stage is so charismatic,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, we haven't spoken in 3-4 years almost, you know. So it's like, but you came right in. Hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Smoke some weed. Let's fuck. You know. So it's like I can't. It's so interesting that someone like you has those feelings of just like self-doubt and
Man, I got
anxious.
so much fucking insecurities, you guys. I don't go to therapy. I talk into a mic earphone.
Yeah.
Well, it's just so funny because it's just as the older you get, the biggest thing with stand-up is you just have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I grew up in a big family, and so I come from a bunch of hermits, and so I go out nightly to do stand-up. It's a social endeavor, which is, I love that because that's who I am. But then at the same time, I get, I'll go back to my head and get stuck at it. And it's really funny though, because I being from a big family, and I know this, and I've come to, and this is why I tell the women when I get serious with them, is that I just do so much better with reassurance.
Yes.
If people are like, yo, you're
Absolutely.
freaking fine, you're okay, you're doing good, this was great and all that. And I know I hate that because it's hard in stand up because you just have to kind of pat yourself on the back at times.
Yeah.
Some people are
You
really
do.
good at it, but to me, I'm like, man, if I got, a camp, it's really good, you
Yeah.
know, but stand up, it's an isolated medium. So you got to go out and follow.
I love that you said
Nightmares.
that. And it's awesome that you said that. Without my dad knowing it, my dad would always remind me of how cool and how successful Jordan's doing, my older sister. She went to college. I can give a fuck about college. All I cared about when I was graduating high school, all I cared about was Gigi Allen, weed, and fucking my girlfriend.
That rocks. Dude.
Yeah, that's all.
College is for fucking.
Yeah,
dummies,
so
dude,
when I hear
retards.
about her going to, so actually the premise of the podcast was originally I wanted to be called the Underachievers, and I think it was taken. So shouts out to them if they exist still, because
fuck them. That's our name.
because I really wanted to have a like you said, I wanted to have a premise of just like, hey man, I'm just here, like that's literally, and you were talking about the reassurance thing. I've been dating my girlfriend for 15 months, and yet I still, there are times we're laying down, and I'm just like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know. It's just like you feel like I feel like because you haven't been talking in the last 20 minutes, I did something wrong. And that's how I felt with comedy too. And I think, and I admire you because you kept going. I felt like I was doing so bad, and I was like, okay, after a year and a half, it was the dumbest thing because I was like, after a year and a half, I'm not killing it, and I don't have an HBO special. Like, this is useless. And so I admire the fact that you kind of take all that and personify it on stage.
You have to. It's just what, as an artist, no matter what art you got, it's hard. You got to find your voice, and it doesn't happen in a year with stand-up comedy. It can take 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what's so much fun. And, I always say, the first 2 years of stand-up should be the most fun.
Yeah.
And because you're like, I'm finally doing it. I'm out there. This is cool, freedom of speech, blah, 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 hardest road in showbiz, and then about 3 to 5, you're kind of like, wait, what am I talking about? Like, wait, who am I?
Yeah.
Like on stage, like I want to be this and that. And then I call those the bomb years. Like you literally have to go out there and eat shit constantly because that's when you're going to know like how to just handle yourself up there and be comfortable. Anthony Jeselnik was on Tiger Belly.
I love him.
And he was talking about how like, we have to be humiliated. Yeah. Like being like in stand up, it's literally like you have to be like, oh, you're the hottest chick, wants to fuck you, and you're standing in front of her and somebody pantses you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's like you have to go through those so many times. But it's so fun because, you live those years of doing that. So when audiences see you, you know how to be like, oh, it's all good. Don't worry. I die nightly on stage. So
how do you? So when that happens, because no one's
bombing?
perfect. Yeah. So I mean, even people who sell at arenas bomb every now and again. So it's like, how do you cope with that? Like because nothing's worse. And I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. I think one of the things we talked about a couple years ago is that one of the reasons why he didn't want to go on stage was because if he tells a joke and no one laughs, it's like instant anxiety.
it's gonna happen. You just always have to know it's gonna happen.
I think at this point I've gotten over that aspect, but I mean, yeah, I never took the initiative to like just go up on stage because like I do think I could just go up and do like whatever if they gave me 5 minutes at an open mic.
5 minutes feels like 30 minutes your first time, buddy.
Yeah, that's what no, yeah, for sure. And I'm sure it would be hard and I'd probably bomb, but like I'm not scared to go up and talk in front of people because I've had to do it. Like I've done it multiple times in like just fucking random community college classes.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it doesn't really give me much anxiety. I've made a fool of myself in front of people just as a person.
Are you cold? Are you cold, buddy?
I'm good.
Okay, I just want to make sure
I
because
thought you were asking me because this vent is fucking
Close it.
killing me.
Yeah, close it. It's fine.
We're all over here.
Well, you guys are skinny dudes. I need consistent coolant.
It's
or
all
else
good, dude.
You know.
Well, yeah, I didn't answer the question when you asked me was how I deal with bombing.
Go ahead.
And really is you have to accept it. Like, you just accept it. And the audience is okay with that. And my biggest thing, too, is that I love to address when it bombs. Like, all right, that was funnier when I was by myself. Or that was a lot funnier on the car ride. You can come up with any lines. I always call them like fail-safe lines. Like, after you eat shit, you're like, well, but if you address it like, oh, I just ate shit on that, then they're like, you did.
Yeah. So that was the turning point for me, and it was Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, right. And I got my 5 minutes, and I was so excited. I told and I was writing this joke for like 2 weeks. I don't remember what it was. You know what I mean? But I was so excited. I was practicing in the mirror. I practiced it with I called my dad, and I told him about it, And he's like, yeah, that's good, I go on stage, is the first thing I open with, dead silence. And honestly, I made the worst mistake that, in my opinion, any comedian can do. And I said, oh, well, that worked better at this insert comedy club here. And it was like, oh no. And then from there I was just like, my wife, I might as well have just started doing
Let me just do the guy's act that just went up before me.
Yeah, seriously, and
you guys really enjoyed that.
So it's hard, dude. And I think that's one of the
You gotta
reasons,
love it.
Yeah.
It's literally 90% failure.
I think what I learned in the last 4 years is that I appreciate it, but I don't think I love it.
Yeah.
And I think this is where I found this.
Yeah, no, well, that's what I was saying. I was going to go back to Robert. Like, you are speaking into a mic and speaking to an audience technically right now. And the podcast has been a phenomenon. I mean, you could say phenomenon, but it's been a really good thing for stand-ups. Because as a true comedy fan is always like, I love this guy. Like, this is my friend. I'm in with them. We're having this conversation, and so comics will go now do podcasts. So it gives the audience even closer to the comedian because they literally feel like they're in the conversation.
Oh yeah,
they're hanging out, and so so the fan knows like almost everything about you as a comedian, and so you're talking to an audience, and this is such a good way for the comics to learn how to use your voice. Because that's the whole point of getting on stage is finding your voice on there. But you can have a podcast voice as well. But it's a good comic voice, to combine them both. And
and
then so when you do that, like you said, you're like, oh, I don't have too much anxiety of doing it. And I already kind of talked to an audience member. It's really just we're now writing material and wanting to go up there and entertain people.
Right. And that's a really good point. And an issue that we had even with last episode is Robert reached out to me and said, I feel like I didn't talk much. And, we're only on episode 14. I mean, I could see us at episode 684, you know what I mean? So it's like we still have all this time, and I think that this is a great way for you to get your voice out there,
Well, I still feel like it's just as far as like when it's a podcast, it's not just you and me.
Yeah.
I don't know like the etiquette or whatever for like interjecting with something.
Just interrupt me.
And fuck it, because I don't want to interrupt. I don't care about interrupting Jacob, but like interrupting the fucking guest, that would make me feel shitty.
No, you gotta if you've listened to radio shows, he's obviously he's the captain of the ship right now, obviously leading the conversation, asking the questions, and literally your point is like, where can I chime in?
Right.
And that's and always is that it's gonna be challenging because you're like, I don't know if this is good or if this is funny, but always go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I can promise you anything is that I'm not, as soon as he leaves, I'm not going to say, what the fuck was that, dude? I promise you. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, it's totally like my hang up just because, it's only been like, I don't know how many episodes we've been doing this together. But like, I was a guest twice before I became co-host. And then it's like, now I feel there's a bit of a responsibility.
Well, he should have some kind of but he should have some ego because he was voted in by what little fans I have. They were like, dude, I love Rob.
I don't believe that because
that's his own insecurities talking.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good to have that on the podcast because you're like, no, man, I don't read the comments, dude.
Oh, I read them. I read every single one.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Robert, let me ask you something, man. What do you want to say?
Yeah, what do you want to say, bud?
I don't know, man. I think people need to play more classic shooters.
What's that? Oh, like shooter games?
Yeah. We need people playing Doom and classic Prey, fucking
GoldenEye,
Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah.
Big old nerd over here.
That's good.
Actually, I wanted to ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
What I guess this is a little broad, but like, what's the worst bit you think you've ever done? Or like the worst you ever bombed, or like just what made you feel the fucking worst after walking
love to hear
off
that
stage?
story.
Like,
You know what's so funny is, and I know this sounds so lame, but I truly can't think of like the worst bomb story I've
That's
had.
not lame.
Because you honestly have to get over them. And like you have to like, all right, move on, just like pretend it didn't happen. But
so there may have been one that impacted you heavy, but you had to just push that out.
It's always, dead silent, and they call it the flop sweat. It's like when you start bombing, you start sweating.
Oh yeah.
So it's usually my biggest one was like I was at the Improv back in the day when I was in the main room open mic, and I did a Subway joke and I said Starbucks, and I didn't realize I said Starbucks because I do like, I say Subway backwards is Yabus.
Yeah.
But I said Starbucks. So they're just like, what? We didn't get it. And then I was just like, oh my God.
Oh,
I was like,
shit.
this is horrible.
Yeah.
So, but what I love about when I first started, like, you would have to literally wait like 4 hours at a bar.
Oh yeah, dude.
To go up to do 3 minutes
Mhm.
for 2 people for hopefully 1 laugh.
And sometimes it feels like, it really does feel like when you say, I don't know, you insert fucking opening joke here. It's almost like, so what they do in bar shows, if they're ran by another comedian, they kind of just like pull their phone up, like, hey, there's your light.
Right.
And it really does feel like you got out one joke and it's time to go, so the pressure's really on. So if you bomb in that 3 minutes, it's a really shitty feeling. And that's why, I do admire you, because it's like, yeah, that fucking sucked. All right, to the next one. Because I would just say, I'm going to go home.
It's literally like it's good to say like I don't love bombing, like you said. Excuse me. And the reason is because that's good. Then you'll want to do better. Like you'll always want to make sure you crush. It's not gonna happen. Like you're gonna eat shit eventually, but because you are so afraid of bombing that you keep. I know this is kind of ridiculous, but it's a good motivator to like. To get better and do that, but you have to bomb. Like I still I eat shit, and it's hard. Like you were talking earlier, like if my first line, like if my first boo-haws go off, like the first 1 or 2, they like I'm not kidding you, man. Like I'll be like, all right, whatever, you guys are not.
It just blows my mind that sometimes it doesn't work, dude.
And some people because I will like if it doesn't work, then I'll kind of just be like whatever, dude. I don't even, you guys are, and then I'm like I fucking just sabotage my whole goddamn set. Now I have to get myself out of this. Like I can't. You got to just keep moving. And be like, well, whatever. All right, you guys didn't like it. And you said something and I forgot because I wanted to go back about bombing.
Are you headlining?
Mostly like D clubs.
Well, yeah, but you're headlining, and that's the cool thing. So how long are your sets?
Right now they're like. The most I've been doing is 30. The longest I've done is 43.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I
told 91 jokes.
Oh, wow. Did you count them in your head?
I had to because this was the most I was going to do. So I was like, okay, here's my master list. And because like I tell 1 minute is like 3 jokes for me. And so, if I do a 5-minute set, that can be like towards like 9 jokes.
Right.
And I sometimes only think of 3 of them.
But I love the way that you do it. And you mentioned Anthony Jeselnik, and this is the reason why I love him. Terrific is because writer. He's amazing. And do you know who he is?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Sure. So I love his form of comedy where it really is in the bare bones simplicity of just knock knock, who's there? Mm-hmm. Joke.
Oh yeah.
Knock knock. Like you know what I mean? Yep. That's it. You know what I mean? It's not stories, which I love. Mm-hmm. But like it's just those jokes that like in the weirdest way possible. It's like it reminds me of like my grandpa.
That's why I'm such a huge Mitch Hedberg fan.
Oh God, yeah.
He absolutely kills me, dude. It's so easy.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's one of the best things to do is go up there and tell jokes, straight up. And one of my first friends that I made in stand up was this like homeless guy, and he literally had the best jokes I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. He
was called a 3-liner. Like that's what I call him. I'm not like, dude. He had. Like, I'm trying to think. One of his like latest jokes that he had was like, he's like, I'm homophobic. He's like, I'm afraid one of them's gonna break my heart. That's a bombo joke.
It's like that's quick, and I love it.
Dude, he was so good, and so like I was like getting into it early. I'm like, I'm telling jokes. I'm gonna go up there and tell jokes.
Did you ever do the venue? It's not a venue. It's a fucking. Did you ever do the Mod Pizza off of North Hollywood?
Absolutely, man.
Dude,
they gave you free pizza.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Did I tell you about this one, Robert? So
how the hell is this going on?
So
this is going to end.
Yeah, so you did 5 minutes. And if you did 5 minutes, they'd give you a free pizza.
The first 30 comics showed up and got a free pizza.
And
That's
there would be a
amazing.
bunch of like homeless people.
Yeah. I'm
And
like,
some of them were the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life.
well, I'm like, when I first heard that, I'm like, this guy has not been doing open mics whatsoever. I can't believe you're going to be giving free food.
Yeah.
If you're going to be giving free food, you're going to get
Right, the
you're going to get
craziest
the
of
most
the crazy.
hungry people showing up. Okay?
But the thing is that some of them fucking killed.
Oh yeah, dude.
And they would just get their pizza and go back to their hobble. Like
That joke my buddy I was talking about, he says he became a comedian through bartending and panhandling.
that's the way to do it, dude.
Oh man.
Dude, you guys can keep going, but I really gotta piss.
You want to take a break?
Make an
I mean,
announcement.
we haven't even been an hour in.
That's okay. We'll take a break. Let's take a break.
I just gotta piss, dude.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
And now more of the Basement Dweller.
Can you stop talking every time we play a fucking
basement.
That was not me.
That was you.
No, it wasn't.
I was talking.
That was.
Can you
yeah.
stop it, Mikey?
All right, come on, man.
Did I ruin it?
No, you're good.
Yeah, it was.
I ruined it because I hit it and the volume wasn't on, so it'll show up on the editing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to fix that. So that's my fault.
Yeah, good job, dude.
Yeah, I know. I fucked up. So, welcome back, everybody.
Homie, I'm fucked up. You fucked up. But if God got us,
Right.
then we're gonna be all
We're
right.
gonna be all right. Yeah.
So we talked about your dive into comedy, and we talked about
My belly flop.
your belly flop, and we've been doing it for 13 years. That's awesome. I really want to move it towards a topic that I've been so excited to talk about because this is where I get a tad starstruck. But I want to talk about so when I moved to LA, my dad wanted me to do TV shows. He's like, what would be awesome is if you did this and this, and I never got past the first step. So now you have been on, to my knowledge, one television show. Has it been more than that?
Yeah, technically.
Okay, so how does that work? So how do you even get those spots? So let's make it easy and just say, so my knowledge of you being on television was on one of my favorite shows of all time, which is Workaholics.
Yeah.
So I want to know the story about how you got there.
Well, that was background. I was hired as background.
Right.
I believe one of the central casting, one of the big background groups. You know what I got hired for my first time working on Workaholics? Basement dweller.
What?
Yeah, they're looking for basement dwellers, guys who hang out in a basement.
Dude, that rocks.
Who are Carl's friends.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
dude.
So that's why I was like, man, the name of your podcast, it's going to relate to this topic because I'm literally, I was cast as a basement dweller for that Workaholics episode. Where
That's what they said on the actual profile?
Yeah, that's what they were looking for. It was.
I should have done that. I'm right here. What
There
the
was
fuck?
Yeah, dude.
there was this episode where I forget, Carl gets busted by one of these reality shows.
Yeah,
drug
so
shows.
so I can tell you exactly because I'm obsessed with that show.
Yeah.
He was on an episode of Cheaters, and
that's it.
so he was cheating on, a backyard wrestler's girlfriend was cheating on the wrestler with Carl.
Yeah, that's hilarious. And then I did another one where it was at a party.
I know exactly what it is.
And then I got hired I actually got 2 days to be a stand-in for Blake
Yeah.
Anderson. So, and dude, I've worked with those guys a bunch, and literally first day I worked with them, they were awesome.
Yeah.
All of them. Hilarious. Everybody loved being there.
Well, I want to meet Carl most of all.
And he's the director. He's
It's
one of
his
the
show.
writers.
Yeah.
Kyle. And they're all super great. They're hilarious. They're super cool. And I had a blast, man.
His name isn't
fun.
so different from the show, right? Because his name is Kyle Havacek, right? That's his real name. Is it
Yeah.
Kyle Hava something?
Yeah, I forget. It was so funny though because they were Renegades, and so it was so hot when we were filming during the summer, and they kind of had us in this room because they film at the house.
Yeah.
And they had
It's
us,
a real house.
Yeah, they had us in this room attached to the outside, and it wasn't really there was no air. And it was next to a bedroom. And in that bedroom, there was one person, a sound recorder guy, full blown AC. And a SAG representative showed up. And she was like, absolutely not. You have your whole background out here. They need to be an AC immediately.
What's a SAG representative?
Just somebody who works for the
Actors Guild, baby.
Yeah, somebody who works for the union. And, they should be sending people to sets to check in every time. But it's no, everything's good. But they were young,
So did you just happen to get that then? So literally, I assume like with that process, you literally have a headshot.
Well, I went in. This was now I remember it's central casting, and so like when you central casting, you show up in line and you go through their little like orientation, and then they take pictures of you, and it's like, oh, what types are you? Like put out as many types as you can, and so boom, people are looking for those types. They'll look your profile up, and it's like, oh yeah, you know if you worked on the show before, all right, well you can do it, and then they hit me up and was like, hey, have you ever done stand-in? And I said, no. And they're like, okay. And I was like, you know what? I mean, like, I've been on set enough to understand what they do. Like, my girlfriend at the time, actually, her mom is like a career stand-in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, and then they called me back again. They're like, you've done stand-in, right? And I was like, yep. And it was that show. And so I was so hyped on that to go work with them.
Yeah, that's and
even get closer to them and then tell them, I was like, dude, you know, like, my whole life, like, I'm from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, you know, they really thought you guys ripped me off, but I was like, no, it wasn't like that.
That's awesome,
appreciated
dude.
The story.
So I gotta ask. So the episode you were talking about, there's an episode where they get a lady who's on TV who, she's called Miss BS, and so she like goes. It's like one of those dumb things where it's like there's a bit where she goes to like a mechanic's shop, but she dresses like a dude, but it's still clearly a chick. Like she has all of her makeup on and stuff like that. And she asks but she's talking like a dude and has a fake mustache.
Episode?
Yeah. So she has a fake mustache and she's like, hey, how much is this muffler going to cost me just between us dudes? And before she was a chick. And so they charged her like $500, but as like a dude, they charged her like $50. And it's just like, that's a BS, stuff like that. So there's a scene where they try to blackmail her by bringing her to a party that is all underage kids. And the reason why I know that you're in it is because there's a scene. It's literally 2 seconds, and this is how my brain works. So I'm like, that's fucking Mikey. There's a scene where you're literally smoking a bowl, and you walk off stage. Like, that's literally it. But I'm like, oh. Like that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that meme. I'm like, there he is. You know? So I got to ask. So that was obviously like, is it like fake weed? Do they tell you like
yeah, it's all fake weed, yeah.
That's lame. It's California.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to, you know, come on, they got to run.
Yeah,
a tight ship there. So
was it one take or did they make you do multiple takes?
There's a bunch of takes because they always have to move the cameras. So because it's like, hey, if we're having a conversation here, we got the camera getting you know. So then it's like, all right, we got to switch, put the camera over here, get my side. What was really fun shooting in the house was there's a lot of people. It was a house party, and of course the house is not thrash, but it's like there's shit everywhere, and so there's stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta put a sticker up somewhere.
Dude, that's awesome.
And so I put a sticker on the fireplace.
I know exactly where that is.
And then I had a friend send me a picture. Like I don't know how many months later.
Oh, I'll look for it.
He was watching the episode, and there's like a part where like Adam goes and sits down, and then you just see like my sticker in the background.
What's the sticker?
It's Mikey Mckernan is not funny sticker.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you best believe I'm gonna look for that shit.
So,
like that's so
fucking sweet. Dude.
That is sweet.
And then I was doing a stand-up show at the time, and so I put my flyer for my stand-up show on the fridge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was. You know, I try to do that. I try to be a little.
Have you ever done? I heard that there were open mics at that house. Have you ever done the open mics there?
Yes. See, what's the funny story is I've known this guy for years in comedy. His name's Eric, and his parents own the house, and his parents were the ones who rented the house to those guys, and they shot the show there. And then the show, they did 7 seasons, and they're like, all right, we're moving out.
Yeah.
Well, they moved out once the show got good, but they had like a lot of like crew guys, like a lot of homies, like still live there and stuff. And so when they moved out, Eric's brother moved in with his kids, but they kept the back room to be like, hey, come stay at the Workaholics house, Airbnb type of thing. And then so Eric was like, let's do a monthly show called At the Workaholics House, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. It was a good show.
So like the pool and all that's there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you go there, you're like, yeah, this is the house.
How far is that drive from LA?
It's in Van Nuys, so it's not that far.
Oh.
Yeah, it's chill.
That fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's so funny because, you know, like when you live in LA, your friends come and visit, they're like, oh, like, what do we want to do? It's like, I take them to go, like, those places, like, oh, let's go see, like, the Workaholic House or the liquor store from Superbad or something like that, you know?
You want to hear a funny story?
I mean, this is what we're here for.
Did you know that I got 2 girls to come out from Phoenix to LA?
Yeah.
And fuck me because I was living in LA. And, like,
Nice.
I told them that stuff. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, like, I do comedy, but I'll take you to like the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Or like stuff you'll like oh, I know you're into Tumblr. Like I know you've heard of like the Museum of Death. Like
Yeah.
I fucking hate Hollywood Boulevard. but if it's gonna give me some fucking strange, like,
Yeah.
And so that was probably the best thing about living there was that like I would tell people that like I went to high school with, like, hey man, I made it. I'm in LA. You want to come out and like fucking hang out? Like,
it's funny because being from LA and I go to different towns, I'm like, hey, I'm from LA. They're like, oh, we don't want to fuck you.
Can I ask you? Do you do? So like, how do I put this? Do you try like to
really hard? Yes.
Okay, so you're a single dude.
I'm trying really
obviously.
hard right now.
Okay, so you're trying really hard right now. Yeah. So like when you go like to other, like, do you use like Tinder?
No, I'm absolutely not. I will not go on any of the dating apps.
What do you? Oh,
Just like go to bars and
so like
I do
after show,
comedy, like-
after show.
Yeah, there was Ari Shaffir had his podcast, Skeptic Tank.
Yep.
It was the one when Mitzi Shore died.
Yep.
And it was legendary. And he talked about a lot of things. Like he talked about stop doing open mics and start doing shows. That's when I started really turning it up. And then he said that Mitzi Shore always said that it's really good for the male comics to get laid from their stand-up comedy.
Really?
Yeah, because it's kind of like it's the reassurance.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, yo, if you're really that funny, like someone like if a girl fucks you, like you're gonna, you know, like this is it, like you can do this.
that's how you know you're funny.
Yeah, like it's really good for like their ego and their like, you know, their just their confidence in general. Like she was all about that, and so I'm like, man, I really want to get laid.
Yeah.
From my stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And it's not really a good thing. It's not. That's a terrible goal to have because then it's just you reek of it.
I disagree.
You reek. Like girls can smell it on me immediately. But then again, I realized recently that when I go up and do my stand-up comedy is not sexual. I'm not going up there being like, ooh, I'm, you know, like, yeah, I'm so cool. And like, I'm humping the stage, like showing my moves or anything like that. So I'm like, that's why girls don't want to fuck me in my stand-up. They're like, this guy's, you know.
You should make like a sick eat pussy joke then. Like, you know, maybe
I that's what's so funny is that so one of the worst jokes I ever wrote, you asked me that question earlier. And this is like one I like, but it never works. Like, you know, there's a term like when you bomb, you eat a bag of dicks. Yeah. And like, or you ate all the dicks. Mm-hmm. And so to me, I'm like, well, if there's one where you crush so hard that all the pussies eat you.
I love it. I mean, yeah, that's great, dude.
But
how was your time at the Improv Mania?
Oh, it was great, man. Dave's got a freaking amazing ship he's got there.
Did you ever
really enjoyed it?
Did you check out any of the downtown area after?
Not really. But he's moving it to like the more downtown area, like the downtown Chandler area, because where that's at, I guess it's off like the outskirt of it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's still got a bunch of foot traffic, but man, he's got a well-oiled machine there and stuff. And from afar, it's kind of like, I don't know what this is like. You know, I've been through some of these tiny little clubs that these guys got, and man, I really enjoyed it. You know, and their crowds were really great. And it was good.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I had a blast. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, so. I can't wait to see it. I mean, do you record your set still?
I just audio record, so I don't put any video out.
Are you gonna post that?
Not audio.
Oh.
That's just for me.
It's kind of like your own personal notes.
Yeah, I got like a hardcore system where I record every single time I go up, and I write down the date, I write where I was, and then I write down every single joke, and I do on a scale of 1 to 3, and then I do like data for my stand up, and then at the end of the year I combine them and see like which ones.
So
was the
studying
strongest.
film like a football player.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So it's fun. It feels like I'm doing something with my stand-up when I do that. So
well, man, you're traveling.
I like it. Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You know, you have to get out.
I mean, that's the hump. You know what I mean? Whether or not, you know, you mentioned earlier that you're doing, you know, D-list clubs, and no offense to them, but obviously you're not, you know, selling out the Orpheum or anything like that. But it's like, but you're doing what improv comics would fucking kill for, you know, just to travel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the biggest thing with stand-up. It's like you either stay home, you find a home court, build your own whatever, you know, your own stage, your own club, or you go on the road and try to make it like that. So I'm getting a text.
That's fine. I know we're not that important, so, you know, you can keep your phone on if you want.
Oh, it's the girl.
Oh, it's it. Oh. You want to call her live on the podcast?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, dude, patch her in, dude.
Yeah, dude, we can absolutely. Yeah, dude.
We'll talk
Man,
you
I
up,
really
dude.
hope this other girl doesn't hear this.
It's all right. You got a whole week of
I forgot who tells this joke.
Damage control.
Where it's like, I don't have a girlfriend, and my girlfriend will be really mad if she heard me say that. Or I know a girl who'd be really mad.
That's funny.
I said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what joke you're referring to, but I don't remember who said it.
I'm not even into comedy, I guess.
So what do you think is like? Because I would like to talk about this for a second because I have one joke that no matter where I am, I have two, and no matter where I am, it just does a good job. I wouldn't say it kills, but it does a good job. So like, other than like the noises you make, like, do you have one that you at least like? Yeah, I'm trying to write new material, but wherever I go, I do this one because I know it works every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Some of my first ever jokes I wrote, like I still do like year one jokes, and it's tough because they just get better over time, you know, because you take them out for walks. So
right.
Yeah, there's a couple right now. Like I do a mustache joke that everybody likes.
That's cool.
There's a bunch because like I have tiny bits, so
right.
And I have to go over and over and over again, and so I tell a lot of the same material, but it's like, and like if I come up with, you know, I'll be like, oh man, I came up with one new one, all right, but then again, that's what 15 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, a golden 15 seconds is worth a lifetime.
Yeah,
I mean when you really do it, and so I used to, so for the longest time, to get kind of real for a second, I knew I was bisexual and when I was in high school.
Yeah,
and but I don't have very like crazy religious parents, but I know that like if for example, like if I ever told my dad, I know that like the first, like if I called him, the first thing he would think of is my son's bisexual, you know? So I kind of repressed it for like a really long time. And then I came up with a joke, and I remember because you, and even if you don't remember this, I remember you specifically told me to keep doing it. I used to make a joke that like, it's so stupid, but it was like domestic violence is just a little bit different, like when you're a guy. Like it was like, why can't I just date my best friend? You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, like you just hang out with your buddy and you play video games and you fuck, you know? And then I was like, and if he like beats me up because he's mad at the video game, it's like, it's okay, he won't do it again. He's my, you know, like some dumb shit like that, you know? And like, and I remember I did it at this little nobody club bar thing, and and I remember him and my other buddy specifically were like that should be your ender. Like that was that, yeah. You fucking killed it. And the other one I did that I stopped doing because I got a lot of hate for it actually at multiple places in downtown Phoenix was I used to make a joke that, remember that one I said it was like homeless people are kind of like wild dogs. I was just like, come on, man, like you got the free range, like just go be free, you know, stuff like that. And I remember I got legitimate hate like from people.
Like, did people come up to you after your set and were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were just kind of like,
that's
you have
very funny joke.
You have no disregard, or like you have no like regard for like, you know, people and their problems. And I was like, yeah, sure.
You should tell them they don't like comedy.
So my question is that like, have you ever got to like mass hate from like a joke you've done?
No, not really. It's so funny because I've been so, you know, like just watching everybody always get buried for things, you know, and so I've always been like I've never been like a crude humor type
like
of
blue,
person.
like going blue.
When everybody first starts, you try to say shocking things because you don't know how to get a reaction out of the crowd. Mm-hmm. So I did a bunch of that, but I was never all about that, and I really like to do clean material and not really like alienate the audience.
I did notice that you are kind of a clean comic.
Yeah, and so I've always been going there. So, and it's not so much like, oh, well, like, no, you probably got the dark side, like, get out there. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. If there's taste, you know, I'll do it. But I don't like to do it because to me, it's just like, nah, I don't live there, you know? Like, I'm a silly comic. So it's like, you know, like, oh, you can be silly and dark. Sure, there's to that. But to me, I'm like, nah, man, it's just like, you know, like if you get talking to me, like I can be mean and stuff like that.
Sure.
I was going to ask you a question.
Totally my issue.
Go ahead. So Robert, go ahead. Because I knew as soon as he said that. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, that's me. Is like you say, like maybe I misheard because I'm a little fucked up right now. But you said like you kind of grow out of that like blue comedy, say shocking shit, bullshit. But like, dude,
he lives on the edge like that.
Like I'm 25 and like that is hands down my favorite thing is to just say
rape jokes, racial jokes,
horribly shocking things, and like I don't see myself growing out of that.
Yeah, you got to look up this comic named Ryan Joseph.
Look him up, Ryan Joseph.
He's in Austin right now, but he was in LA for a long time. He tells some of the meanest jokes, but they're excellent. They're so funny.
Yeah, like
he's like, I stopped sending dick pics to women. No, he's like, I stopped sending dick pics to girls. Now I just do it to women. Like, dude, he's, and that's the thing too, because there's a place for that. You can live there, and he really does it where he gets a lot of people angry at him, but like the people who love him.
Yeah.
Because he goes there. He doesn't shy from that. So, like to me, I'm like, and like I said, I love watching him. Like I love watching him,
Sure.
toe the line because you always want to see how the audience is going to react. But it's like, to each his own. Like if you want to like go out there and talk like that, it's like, you're going to, you'll see like who's in and who's out, And I got a roommate he loves to be dirty and he goes there. Right. And I've tried to be like, man, maybe you should try it like this. Maybe you should try to clean up. And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, well, now you got, now you can't go to this one girl's open mic. So.
Yeah. So before you asked me, you said you had a question to ask me. I'm never really apologetic on this podcast because at the end of the day, I can't stress enough that we have nothing but good intentions. It's just what makes us laugh. And this is where I agree with him, where we made a joke. So the first ever not hate mail, but like the first ever like disagreement, I made a joke because I'm one of those people that I don't like cilantro. It tastes like soap to me. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And it was me, Robert, and Allie on the podcast. And I don't remember the string of events, but the punchline was that like, yeah, when I was a kid, my mom was raped by cilantro. And like it got a big laugh at the table, and like, but I got a message on Twitter that was just like, did you really have to say that and stuff like that? It's like, no, I didn't. But at the same time, like, I'm just.
Do I know exactly who's that?
Yeah, I know. From? I know you exactly. Yeah. So, so yeah, man. I mean, so I appreciate at the same, level of us being, so uncensored that you can. Honestly, I think being clean is a lot harder than being dirty. And
well, it's so fun.
Yeah, because it's hard to be really funny being dirty. It's really easy to be crude, but it's hard to be crude and funny.
Yeah.
It's it's a lot of fun being dirty because that's like live stand-up comedy. Like you guys aren't watching this on TV, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not like this is the adult world.
This isn't your mom's TV show.
Yeah, and it's always, and that's a lot of fun, and crude humor is a lot of fun to laugh at because you're like, yeah, so it never is going to get commercialized and stuff like that. So like you could say like, yeah, I'm trying to go for like not so much a commercialized way, but it just, when I was trying to do blue humor when I was young, it didn't feel natural for me, and like, people didn't believe me. So it's kind of like, that's the whole point. It's like, if they just have to believe you, know? And so like, and I'm a little, I'm a silly goof. So I have to like, all right, that's it, and but if I can, it's fun though too, like, oh, that's who you are. But then again, flip the switch, go up there and be dirty as shit and make fun of homeless.
What was the question you had for me?
Are you a goodbye? No, are you?
Is that you leaving?
Are
we
you
done?
a goodbye sexual?
Can you elaborate?
I don't know. I just try to write something where whenever a girl tells me she's bi, I say goodbye. Then I was like, no, but you said you were bi, and I was like, no, that's it. I was like, are you a goodbye?
I would like to think so. That I definitely don't. I think the reason why I was so
dude, you're not even bisexual. You have a girlfriend.
I know, right? Case closed.
Yeah.
Like,
straight male.
And that's the thing, is that I'm not you grew, and especially you. I mean, you grew up in a time where it's like, if you're not putting your hands like this, and if you don't have a lisp and stuff like that, like there's no way.
Yeah.
And so when I kind of became really comfortable with my sexuality, when I was like, okay, well, maybe I will talk to guys or dudes, I would say dudes is such a masculine thing to say.
Yeah. Like
if I was like, oh, hey bro, that's a nice shirt. It's like, I'm interested in that dude, but like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like it's so it's kind of like I got that stereotype put on me, where it was just like, oh, I would never know, and like, that's okay if you don't know. It's just like, it's
how
I am. I mean, I talk to my girlfriend. I call my girlfriend dude and bro. It's just how I fucking talk, So to answer your question, I would like to think yes, I am a goodbye.
Are you a goodbye? Is it funny if I just say, are you a goodbye?
I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You're like, yeah, of course I am. I'm not a sad bye.
We're definitely not done right now, but I have a quick question. Are you
bad bye?
Are you going back home after this?
No, I'm doing a headlining set at the Monterey Court in Tucson, Arizona on Tuesday.
Oh, Tucson
sucks.
Tucson sucks, bro.
I know, but if it's plugged in and they're gonna pay me,
that's just such a drive, like, to nothing. Like,
yeah.
I'm so. Are you
going grind set,
so
dude.
Are you?
The first time I went to Tucson, I didn't realize how close Tombstone was.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to Tombstone, and I fucking, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just
Did you just like
Fed
pretend
my-
to be Kurt Russell?
Well, it was just fun. Well, it was just fun because it's like you show up to that, fake gunfight. I'm just like, man, these guys don't have no mustaches. No one's got a mustache like
You'd
this.
be perfect. If you cut your hair, you'd look like the perfect cowboy, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a comic in Orange County. He works at Knott's and he does like all that kind of stuff. And he's like told me, he's like, man, have you ever thought about coming to work? He's like, you should.
Do you remember that chick? I forget her name, but like a lot of her jokes. Danielle was her name, and she worked at Universal. Remember her?
Yes.
Yeah. I always like a part of me because I got fired within like 6 months of working in LA, and every time she would leave before I was like, hey, are you guys looking like to hire? Because like, and she always fucking bailed. So that's just what that reminded me of. Like, oh fuck you, like whatever. What was I gonna fucking talk about?
I don't know. Let me drink more of that mango Bud Light seltzer.
We're a big fan of just enjoying the finer things on this podcast. We like to get
That's good.
nice and loose before we. I can't tell you.
Goose.
It's
We're
so,
not nearly as fancy as Mike with his fucking
seriously,
soda
dude.
water,
Can I
dude.
talk
Look
about
at
this for
man.
a second? I was
I
so
love that you
blown
guys
away.
are upset.
I was so blown away because like, what an LA lifestyle. You said I'm good on the drinking, but can I get some soda water?
Yeah, I'll smoke
this-
weed and drink soda water.
Is this
You gotta live up to the
1950?
image,
Are you
man.
going to the fucking soda bar? Like,
Well, it's there's just so many times where I wouldn't want to get a drink at a bar, like when I'd have to go do comedy and stuff. So soda water with lime is just like my favorite thing ever.
can I ask you another question?
But soda water is just taking the world by storm.
I guess I fucking kind of disagree.
Yeah,
but
I don't know about that.
Spicy
I don't
water doesn't sound good.
ever had soda water, and
love
like
it.
not wished it was Sprite.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's up with the car?
What about it?
Oh
The-
yeah,
the decals. Do you work for them?
No, I do not.
So how'd you get that?
Well, my dad does.
Oh, gotcha.
So my old man decided to. He was like, "What's the most recession-proof like job there is out there?"
haircuts.
It's
Dude.
haircuts. And so he invested in a couple great clips. And my dad loves being like a great boss. He's like all about it. He has his own company and stuff. And so he was like, all right, for managers, I'm going to buy a company car. They're going to get a laptop. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, so he
they're gonna
owns a
love
couple
working.
locations.
Yeah, he's like 2 locations. And so, but of course, like, hair salons, like at a great clips, it's, that might not be their, their job that they want to do for the rest of their lives. So he didn't get the best individuals. So there was a car lying around. He actually told me before I wrecked my car that he wanted me to drive it around because I go everywhere for stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I wrecked my car.
What's the farthest you ever gone for stand-up?
I've been to New York and Boston.
Wow. You drove there?
No.
Oh.
And I've flown to South Carolina, flown to Austin.
What's your favorite city to do stand-up in?
My favorite city is probably like the first one I did outside of LA, which is pretty ironic, but I love San Francisco. They've gotten different because it's pretty hoity out there,
Yeah.
but I like just being in the city. I love it.
Yeah.
Best audience though, man. I've had a really good time in Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie. Phoenix gets it.
From what I've been told, it's a great place.
Yeah, I really enjoy it out here. Like I've done this club JP's in Gilbert.
Yep.
They've had some of my best sets recently, and like it was funny because I started getting back on stand up in February of this year, and I came out here and it was like one of my first like good sets on the road, and I just remember like you walk out of the club and you're like,
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, your dick isn't
back,
harder
baby.
than
We're
when
doing
you fucking kill it at a show.
yeah. I really like Phoenix a lot. Boston was probably one of my favorite comedy wise, like some of the funniest. Like I saw a guy go up there and be like, I'm seeing a child psychiatrist. It's like, kid's a genius. I was like, that's the fucking best joke I ever heard.
I would like to take a break in a second because I really need to go to the bathroom. But I have a
Yay.
So one of my favorite parts about living in LA was
Being
I have
goodbye.
being a goodbye. But it was going to the Comedy Store for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I actually got to see Brody Stevens' last special.
The comedy store.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so he actually made me sign a waiver. So like I know I'm in it. I actually saw me in it. I asked him a question.
Saw your shoulder in the back of your head.
Yeah. But I loved going there because I saw my idols getting a drink at the bar.
Yeah.
So before I tell you my story, I was just curious, like, because you've been to the store. I know you've been at least to the Boiler Room. Do you have like a, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you moment?
Man, yes. This happened in 2017. So when I first started doing stand up, you go to the Comedy Store because you're like, that's where it all.
That's where it is. Yeah.
And it was the dark years. I started about 2008, and it was dead.
Yeah.
There was maybe like 40 people to sign up for potluck, which is the last time potluck was out. It was like 170 people who signed up for it.
Right.
There was a guy named Spoons who was going up first. That's all I remember. And I was like, this place sucks. And then the one time I finally got up, there was 2 people in the audience. It was my 2 friends that came with me. And I was like, I don't know why people want to come here.
Yeah.
So I avoided the store for years.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing called Kill Tony.
Yep. Tony Hinchcliffe. Shout out to Tony Hinchcliffe.
Kill Tony started, and I remember hearing about it, and I'm like, I'm not going to Kill Tony. Well, you know what really brought back the Comedy Store was Roast Battle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Roast Battle, because they fired Tommy, and then Roast Battle started. And then Ari Shaffir filmed a special. Joe Rogan came to the special and went and watched Roast Battle, and he's like, I'm coming back to the store. Yep. Well, Adam was there already, and Adam was like, you're welcome back if you want to come back.
Right.
And that changed the store. The store started blowing up, and then Kill Tony, grew up, like was started in the belly room, then went to the main room. So I was like, I'm not going on that, man. They're going to fucking destroy and rip apart the Boo Haas. I already know. I was like, I already know this. I don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
And the first guest was Mike Lawrence and Luis J. Gomez. And Tony actually was like, man, you're so cool. We really like that. I was like, wow. I was so surprised. I couldn't believe it. And then Luis J. Gomez was like, I hate it. He's like, you going to do that for an hour? I'm like, oh, God.
God damn, dude,
No.
That's rough. I love Luis Gomez, dude.
I love Luis J. Gomez.
Yeah, he's actually, like, I know he's, he loves to bark, but he really is, like, what he does for a lot of stand-up is amazing. Like,
yeah.
He's a fucking conglomerate.
Oh, yeah, dude.
If that's the right term. Anyways,
Yeah.
So Kill Tony, and I've been lucky enough that, my stand-up fits perfect for Kill Tony. 1 minute, just do jokes. So I'm like, I'm going to go up there and do Boo Haas. It'll be different from a lot of the people and stuff. And so I went up there, and they enjoyed it. And so then I started going up a bunch. And, like, I got up, like, 4 out of, like, 5 shows, like 4 out of 5 weeks. And it went really, really well. And so I was telling you earlier that I really love listening to The Bonfire with Big J. Ogerson and Dan Soder. It's my favorite. Like, it's so funny because I grew up playing hockey, and I'd listen to, like, I got Sirius from my brother because they had NHL radio. And I was like, what? They just talk hockey on the radio? I can listen to this every day? I'm so down. Then there was the off season. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to listen to? All right, I'll listen to Comedy Central. And I would drive to the Comedy Store on Mondays, and from 3 to 5 was, like, when I'm going there, and they wouldn't have stand-up. They would have these guys talking. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about these guys.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to hear these guys talking. I want to hear some jokes. I want to get, like, in the mood. Like, I want to, like, hear, like, fucking Doug Stanhope or something come up there, But then I started listening to it, and I fell in love with these guys. And then I fell in love with Big J. Ogerson. He's one of, like, the nicest guys.
Oh, he's the best, dude.
Big J is one of my favorite comedians of all time. He's so fucking funny.
He's a legend. He's a master at his craft of, crowd work. And then he really is, like, he's a genuine good guy when it comes to stand-up. And the reason why is he grew up, like, following Dave Attell. Like, he's like the school of Dave Attell. There's a lot of guys out in New York. So since I listen to that podcast, I'm like, I have more, like, ear to, like, what's going on in New York compared to, like, trying to, kiss the booty in LA. So I was getting on Kill Tony a bunch. And so I'm like, man, when there's really, really good guests, that's when I'll start signing up again. And Big J. Ogerson came, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I got to get on with Big J. And I did. Got to tell him I was a huge camper, loved the show. And he was like, yeah, that's great. Then in 2017, around August, he came to LA for 2 weeks, and he's going to do Kill Tony 2 weeks. So I was like, you goddamn right, I'm getting on again, hopefully. And then I got on the first night he was there. And it went really, really well.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, it's so funny because he would always come out and they would do Skanks. They would do the podcast and they do the main show. And so it's so fun, like, going there to the store on the regular that, you know the door guys, and they would let you in. So every time Big J came, I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking watch Big J. I'm going to watch him do fucking 15 to 20 minutes of the main room. And I love this because it's like, I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan.
So that's amazing. I almost hate you because you got to meet him before I got to meet him. You're not done?
No.
Holy fuck. All right, continue.
I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but
No, you're good. You're good.
So I get up the first week and it goes really, really well. And I'm like, yeah, that was so good. Cloud9 again. Get to tell Big J I love him. And then I was like, okay, I don't know if I should go the second Monday. I was like, I got up. I'm not gonna sign up, but I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, hang out and be like, hey, dude, what's up, Big J? Like, big fan, love Bonfire.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna sign up. I'll just kick it on the patio. So Kill Tony's going on, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not in there. I'm just hanging out, talking to people, and I'm talking to a friend. Kill Tony's over. Everybody's piling out, and the Big J's like, from the back to the front patio. That, like, little sliver hallway. So Big J's walking down that, talking to my friend. I'm like, oh my God, here he comes. I was like, should I say something? I was like, no, I'm just going to be chill. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, just relax, you know? He walks straight to me and goes, dude, you're funny.
Oh my God.
Wow. He's like,
shut the fuck up,
dude,
Mikey.
He was like, I watched some of your sets online.
What?
You're hilarious, dude. I'll definitely try to help you out if I ever can, like give your name to people and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I was like,
holy shit. I would have fucking come to my pants, dude. Like,
so anything you do when it comes to like, you know, your art form is you're looking for recognition.
yeah.
And to get recognized by by a pro, one of your favorites, like one who you look up to, I was
Holy
so
fucking shit.
So I was like, Jay, can I take a picture? So yeah, that's on my Instagram.
Incredible, dude.
So yeah, getting recognized by Big J, that was probably like that's my best, like my favorite comedy story. And then again, seeing the greats, dude, like seeing Dave Chappelle. Like I took a girl. So funny, you're like, oh, I took a girl to the comedy store. Or 2 girls came out to LA to fuck me because I took them to the comedy store.
Yeah.
I was like, man, the one time I actually took a girl to the comedy store, you know, the door guy's like, come on in, here you go, sit right here.
Yeah.
And then Dave Chappelle showed up, and
holy shit.
Yeah, she thought it was so cool, and of course, you know, she totally.
So
laid.
that's. Fuck, mine's not that amazing, dude. I would literally.
Doesn't matter, dude. They're all stories. That's not even the best story that's ever been told there.
That's fucking crazy, though, dude. I mean, holy shit. I mean, so with Robert, my only knowledge of Robert in this situation is like if Dave Mustaine of Megadeth was like, "Yo, you're pretty good at guitar," like, you know what I mean? Like
that would rock. I met Dave, dude, and I got so starstruck. It was like I couldn't say fucking shit to him. I paid $15 to meet him and Dave, Chris Broderick, the guitarist, for a while. And
it's always worth it, I say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, dude, it's funny. I just actually got a shout out on the bonfire this last week.
That's great.
Yeah, he was just like, because they were like somebody like Joe DeRosa was talking with Ari Shaffir.
I love Joe DeRosa.
And they were talking about some guy doing a bit, and they're like, huh? And then so Big J was like, dude, that reminds me of this guy. He's like this guy in LA, Mikey Mckernan. He goes up and tells a joke. He's like, he goes up and does a joke and goes, like he doesn't say boo-ha, but
dude.
And then he's like, yeah, Christine, can you pull some of his stuff up? Let's, you know. And
what?
I don't know. And I stopped listening after that because it's so funny. I usually listen to it every day. Like I'm always up to date.
Yeah.
And but because I, you know, had to hit the road, so I was like, I'm saving all of them for like a week. So I was like, you know, I'll have 4 of them ready to rock when I hit the road. And so I didn't listen to it. So like the next day, I had people hit me up being like, dude, you got a shout out on the bonfire.
Wow.
I was like, what? Yeah. And so
dude, my ego would be update.
And I posted about it, and then he reposted. He was like, you're funny. And I was like, it's fucking badass,
fuck,
man.
dude.
So
that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So I know it's just getting recognized. You know?
I got to pee next to Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
That's so I went to go take a piss.
Did you see his penis?
No, and I almost wanted to. If I'm being honest with you, so I bombed in the boiler room. I did my fucking gay joke. No one got it. And I was like, okay, bye. And I went to go piss because I don't know about you, but every time I do even 5 minutes, I have to pee so bad. Like it's so I ran to the bathroom, and it's like, you know where the back bar is? So it's like right there. It's right in between that hallway.
Yep.
And I went to go pee, and I'm pissing, and someone comes right to the stall next to me. Now there's a code, you know, where it's like if there's 5 stalls, you take stall number 3 if I'm at number 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he pees next to me, and I was so upset from bombing, and I was kind of drunk, so I look over. I want to be like, hey man, you know, and it's Dave Chappelle, and I go, hey, and I just go back to peeing. I literally, and I'm just sitting there pissing.
Dude, he did that on purpose.
And yeah, it was such a dominant move, and I just shook my dick off, and I fucking went outside, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I sat there on the wall, and I was like, I gotta say something. I was like, and so he comes out, and goes, Dave. I said Dave, which I felt like
Dave, thanks for peeing next to me.
I didn't say like Dave Chappelle or Mr. Chappelle. I was like, Dave, thank you for literally fueling my comedy career since I was a child. You know what I mean? And he was just like, you know, he's like, hey man, like, thanks, you know? And I was like, all right, cool. And then I said, hey, I have a question. How are you allowed to smoke cigarettes on stage? Because I was curious, because I was a smoker, like a cigarette smoker at the time. And he goes, because I tell them. And I was like, oh, all right, good job. You know,
exactly.
But my favorite story is, like I said, you know, like with this last story, I'm a huge fan of the Chappelle Show. I love sketch comedy. You know, I tried doing YouTube channels with my friends when I was in high school and stuff like that. And I'm getting a drink at the bar, and I meet Darth Darnell Rawlings.
Hell yeah.
You know? And I was like, hey, man, I don't mean to be that guy, but it's so cool to see that you exist. And it's so cool to see that, like I'm not going to come up here and be like, I'm rich, bitch, you know? I mean, stuff like
absolutely.
that, you know? And I was just like, I would just love to get a picture with you, right? So he goes, yeah, we'll take a picture. Out of nowhere, check this out. Out of nowhere, I feel a slap on my shoulder. And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was like security or something. I turn around. It's Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore, son of Mitzi Shore. Okay,
hey, bro.
And he goes, hey, man, how would you like to get a picture with the Weasel? That's exactly what he says.
Christ,
now,
dude.
mind you, this goes back to me and Robert's childhood where I fucking hate Encino Man and I hate Biodome. Those movies are just
Biodome
not
is so fucking funny.
It's just not funny to me, okay? I fucking hate Pauly Shore. Literally, other than the Goofy movie, I don't give a shit about Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore is a fucking legend, dude.
And I'm
Fuck
like,
you.
yeah, okay. So if you go on my Instagram, you can see a picture with me and Darnell Rawlings and fucking Pauly Shore behind me just taking a picture. He might as well have just been like, "Wheeze the juice," you know, and left. That's my favorite story.
I would have loved that anyways. Dude.
I absolutely grew up loving Biodome. Me and my best friend would quote that movie so much, and then so funny when I got older, I was like, "This movie's gay."
This movie fucking sucks, dude. Like,
well, I was like, they do gay things. I was like, he's like, oh, Biodome. He's look, check out the new mall. He's like, does that mean it goes both ways? He's like, I don't know, but we do. And I just like never got that as a kid. You could say I wasn't a good guy when I was growing up.
Let's take a thing. I'm the goodbye. Let's take one more break.
Sexual.
Let's take one more break.
And now more of the Basement Dweller.
Yeah.
The basement
God,
dweller.
I have to pee so fucking bad all
You really
the time.
think people want more of this?
The basement dweller.
And
You like that,
now
dude? I reached
more.
out to someone on Fiverr, and they were just like, "Yeah, I'll do it, no problem." Like,
Where were they
It's
from?
good.
Was it here?
no, but I
Sounds
know
legit.
The only thing I know about him is he was a pastor. He's a pastor that does this on his spare time.
That's awesome.
Even better.
Yeah, right. Have you ever considered doing a podcast of your own?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. What about that?
I mean, that's the thing I was talking about the bonfire. I love, like, I got to have, like, a buddy to talk to, I don't
You
know
don't
if I
have a
could just
buddy to
sit.
talk to?
Like, I got buddies, but see, this is where I get where I'm like, remember I was talking earlier about doing sketch comedy, and where I'm like, I don't know, I could do it, but I don't know how to do a lot of this stuff, so that's why I'm like pretty lackadaisical. Like, I have a new place to live, but it's a loft, so it sounds like I have a big empty house, and so it's. I have to do one. I'd rather, have one where I can talk to somebody, 'cause
Right.
it's more organic, and I'd like to maybe interview people.
I get you. Go ahead and smoke that weed. It's okay. We're only having a conversation right now. It's fine.
Listen, man, I was just trying to accommodate our
No, it's
guests.
fine.
You're not acting like a good guy right now.
Yeah.
So have you been smoking weed most of your life?
No, I got stoned in high school, and then I stopped, and then when I got out of high school, I've been smoking weed.
Did you? So do you not? Do you not? So do you not
Are
like?
you stoned?
Do you not? I am pretty fucking stoned because of all the fucking clouds in here. So do you not drink at all?
I do, but like when I'm always on the road, I do get a bunch of anxiety
Yeah.
just because it's always like the unknown.
So definitely not before shows.
Yeah, like I'm like actually, it's so funny now that there's been more comedy at breweries. I've been able to handle one beer, and I like stout beers. Those are pretty tasty.
Are you a beer? So you're a beer guy.
Well, actually, I'm more red wine. Like that's
You like wine.
yeah. Like when I used to do my own show, I had a weekly bar show, and I would always that was my Friday, and I'd have like 3 glasses of red wine. And
That's classy,
toast.
I get really emotional on
It's
red
the
wine.
one drink that the warmest drink at the bar.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm not gay enough to order a glass of wine at the bar.
That's
Dude,
hilarious.
that's not gay. What the fuck?
Well,
Ordering wine, that's king shit.
It's my older siblings, like they all partied hard growing up.
Yeah, but it's weird to think about your oldest siblings are like almost in their 50s.
Well, it's funny because that's like another reason why I'm not a big drinker, because I've always had I've always had like a team looking out for me to be like, don't do this, don't do drugs, don't act like that, So I'm like, all right, well I won't, And plus, I like moving, Like if I wasn't gonna get, if my friend wasn't gonna hit me up, I was definitely gonna try to go to an open mic tonight. Like there's one going on. Destin Headlock. He used to.
Can I be honest with you?
What?
I'm so lucid at this point that if you were to go to that open mic, I would absolutely join you.
Wow, but you won't go to dinner?
Damn.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, but open mics, it builds my career, Like,
Dude, this is building your
well, it's
more than
Dustin.
open mics.
He does he's got a thing called the Festival of Destiny, and it always sounds like it's a lot of fun. Like he's making shit happen. So I was gonna go to the mic, but
Did you ever do the Doug Stanhope one in Bisbee?
no, I tried getting
Bisbee?
down there. Chuckleheads or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Chuckleheads.
Yeah, I want to because Bisbee's a really old school mining town.
It's like Nowheresville, Arizona. It's like right by
Yeah.
the border, isn't it?
Yeah, it's even more south of like Tombstone. And you're like, damn.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm good. So I'd like to, like I mentioned previously, and I'll plug it right now, is that normally we're so used to having emails where we can answer any kind of burning questions or topics you may have regarding whatever. That's tbdmanchild@gmail.com. Just like it sounds, tbdmanchild.
Send some questions.
Yeah, honestly, and so actually the premise
We
of
had
this
that
was,
really good poop story.
Yeah, we had a good
on that one.
So let's ask this actually: how are you about public bathrooms?
I'll dump, dude. I don't care.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Mike's
I'm a
the
dumper, dude.
That rocks.
That's all I.
I mean, I've already converted to dude wipes, though. That's like
yeah, dude wipes.
Dude wipes
Yeah.
are my gospel. I
so
fucking love dude
yeah,
wipes.
it's a life changer. Like I don't get
As a man with a hairy butthole, it's like
Yep.
you really need that.
Are you a
shit.
hairy guy?
hairy bung, dude.
You see that? You see that fucking mustache, dude?
Yeah, dude.
You trim
let
your
it
shit
be.
up, or are you all natural down there?
No, dude, come on.
Is eating hard for
they
you,
get what
bro?
they paid for, you know? What?
Is eating hard for you, bro? Like keeping
Yeah,
the
because I got
mustache clean?
fucked up teeth, so
No,
yeah, with the
just
mustache.
keeping the mustache clean. Like, is that like a chore?
Yeah.
I mean, you
well,
have to
just extra
brush it
napkins.
on the daily. Like
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Just like a bagel with cream cheese is like my worst enemy.
Sorry, I don't mean to be jumping around. But
You don't
like,
gotta jump, dude.
I just
Or
keep
you
seeing
don't
that
gotta apologize?
mustache.
Well, since we don't have an email to answer, I kind of want to talk
thanks.
about. I want to talk about something that I noticed in the media that is kind of near and dear to me. So I'm a huge Jackass fan. Huge. Ever since I was a kid, doing dumb shit with your buddies, that was just the best thing of all time.
I remember when it first came out.
I used to be a skateboarder when I was a kid. So by those two concoctions, my favorite Jackass was Bam Margera. I religiously only used Element skateboards because Bam Margera did. I would do dumb shit like drop kick trash cans and be stupid in public because Bam Margera did it. I would be an asshole to my parents because Bam Margera did it. I just watched the new trailer of the new Jackass movie. Did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Can't wait.
in this table here, it's obviously been known one person is missing from the Jackass,
absolutely.
which is Bam Margera. Now, have you been following up with
yeah.
his life? Okay, so you know that he's been having a horrible ordeal with alcohol and his own personal life. He's getting bigger, stuff like that. How do you feel, before I give my opinion, how do you feel about the fact that one of the main crew is not in the movie?
Well, it's tragic.
Yeah.
100%. And it's a tragic story, dude. Like, I always was, when Jackass first came out, I told people, I was like, these guys are comedians.
Right.
Like, this is a form of comedy we're all laughing at. Like, we have to accept it. It's just like hardcore physical comedy.
Right.
Physically hurt comedy. And I loved CKY. Bam was my, man, I loved all that. I watched all his MTV. And it just
96 Quite Bitter Beans was definitely like the
Man,
anthem of my life as a kid.
It sucks, dude. It really does suck because you're just like, man, like it really does suck because to me that's where it's like another thing. Like, man, alcohol is just, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's the enemy. The enemy is drinking too much alcohol.
Do you come from a family of alcohol abuse?
No, not at all. So, yeah.
Any drugs?
No. Like I don't think I've ever seen my dad drunk, and I've seen my mom drunk once.
Really?
Yeah. My older siblings got hammered a lot though. So,
Yeah, see,
but because I have so many older siblings because my mom married twice, but her first 3 kids were always there. So they were like, I didn't learn their halves until I was older. So.
Okay.
And so like they didn't have a dad, so they partied.
Do you take that as like a childhood lesson? Like, do you feel
100%. Like what position you are in your family is the position you are in society, So
interesting? Can you kind of like?
Well, it's like I'm the youngest, and so it's like, I'm gonna want to go in entertainment because it's like it demands so much attention.
Like, look at
from
me,
everybody,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, because being the youngest of a big family, like, I'm really good with kids. So it's like, I like entertaining little kids.
Interesting.
But I don't know if I'd get into it because I love smoking weed. So,
Well, Well, it's no secret here that personally I think weed is the most.
yeah, it's getting there, but still, like, you know. Well, plus I look like I shouldn't be near kids, anyways. So. I got Robert over here giving me like a bunch of compliments about my mustache. But,
so
any single mother saw me would just be like,
so I grew up in a family where
congrats.
we drank booze. I mean, that was, you drink booze when you're happy, sad, celebrating,
as a baby,
depressed. Yeah, as a baby, we used to have a thing where if like someone got married in our family, like the men of the family would drink.
It's great.
Fancy whiskeys, and stuff like that. My dad was a big drinker growing up as a kid, and I didn't like it when I was a kid because I was like, well, you fucking suck at keeping your promises, but booze has always been my thing to be comfortable.
Yeah.
It was always my thing I can't go on stage unless I've had at least 3 or 4 drinks. After I'm done, the adrenaline wears off. It's like I need 4 or 5 more. We do this podcast. I need to have something to drink, stuff like that. And so now, but here's the thing. I am a firm believer, and if you would love to debate, I'd love to hear it. There is no such thing as a functioning alcoholic. That's my premise.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a person who can get ripped their entire day and contribute to society. I don't wake up and want a Rolling Rock, but as soon as I'm off work, yeah, give me 12 of them. I don't give a shit because I don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
So when I look at, and I don't know the full case study of Bam Margera, but now he got into a bunch of shit. He's on Instagram Live for what was it, like beating up homeless people or
yeah.
So what happened with that?
I don't remember exactly. He goes on Instagram with just fucking like random douchebag teenagers now.
Yeah.
Just doing what would be considered jackass shit with kids that don't give a fuck. That he's constantly blitzed out of his mind.
Right.
So yeah.
So do you feel like it? So Mikey, I'll ask you. Do you feel like it is a disservice to the jackass name to not involve Bam Margera, or do you feel like they definitely did their part as his close friends to not involve him until he got clean?
Close friends.
Yeah.
The latter, dude. It really does. It really does suck that Bam's not there. But the thing is, like, that's what it's all about, being a team, Like, and Steve-O, man. Like,
right, look at him.
Steve-O
he's been sober for years. Yeah.
Steve-O did it. It is tragic that Bam was okay and then he lost Ryan Dunn. And that sucked. And the whole point is like, but that's like, there's darkness and you got to find weapons. Yeah. And if you use alcohol as a weapon, it's not a weapon.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it helps it. So yeah, it's hard to be a functioning alcoholic in moderation. You know what I mean? Like, don't abuse it. It really is a thing of like, it's delicate because it can really, really ruin lives. So like I said, celebratory things, like, yeah, someone got married, we're all going to drink. Or it's like, hey, we're having a thing, we're going to drink into the night,
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything to abuse yourself, other people, going on the road, fighting, what have you, I think it's fine. It's okay. It's acceptable. But relying on it for stand-up is challenging because I know, like, the guy who I was telling you, who was like one of my first friends, who's the funniest dude ever, the biggest alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, he's chosen that instead of doing comedy, which is fucking super tragic. But
yeah,
and that's the thing. It's like, you have to be careful because if you use it as a crutch, like, then you're it's not and that's the thing. It's like, oh, well, if I go do shows, like, I'm gonna go have one drink because it's like, it's the thing, which is fine. But if you're just not abusing anything, you're fine. But,
so then that
I smoke like weed.
Well, yeah, constantly.
Before I go up, so
it's 2021, dude. I don't even consider weed as a fucking drug anymore. It's just, it's better than pills at this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and Robert, please, just like I told Mikey before the podcast. I mean, if I'm talking about something that is too sensitive, please tell me to stop. But I mean, it's no secret that you do more than pot. You know what I mean? At least you did.
Yeah, no, occasionally.
What is it? Are you interrogating him?
Well,
no. Occasionally, like, if the boys get together, we'll do some coke or something. I fucking love acid. I goddamn love acid so much.
Yeah, but you don't feel like you need it to start your day.
No way. if I'm ever doing like, especially coke, if I'm ever doing coke, it's like everybody I know is chipping in, and we're all like, that's part of the night, and that's like that was what we planned for Saturday. It's not like
we have it's penciled in.
Yeah, it's not like getting stoned, before going into my work or having a beer after work.
Were you ever like a I guess you would still consider like a hard substance user? Did you ever?
Well, I mean, I definitely smoke too much weed where I won't go.
But you've never done like coke?
No, that's the thing. Like being raised with too many siblings, they freaked me out to not to do any drugs. So my best friend.
That's how I feel about.
So.
That's how I feel about sex. I've never had unprotected sex in my life.
Really?
Like I was just so afraid.
Still to this day.
To this day, me and my girlfriend have 15 months. I plan on marrying that woman, and we.
Just saying, dude.
I've never. Oh, I'm sure it feels great, and I tell her all the time. I'm sure it feels fucking amazing. But
what about birth control, man?
So she's on it, but I still won't do it. I'm too afraid.
Afraid of having a kid?
Yep. Because
just pull out.
That's my fears. I feel like I won't because it feels so great.
She will. She will.
Do you only? Oh.
Do I only pull out?
Yes. Really?
Always. You have to, dude.
Even like strangers?
I mean, not really. I don't have that confidence against strangers.
You use condoms.
Well, yeah, with somebody I've never met, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I was like thinking you were like raw dogging.
No,
like,
you can't raw dog everybody. You gotta have a little history.
Have you ever had a pregnancy scare?
Yes.
That sounds fucking horrible. Yeah. So you're like, why would I even like succumb to like that?
Now I tell women when they turn me down for sex is I have 2 Plan Bs. Plan of beating off.
That's right.
I almost did one.
Do you ever jerk off before sex?
Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
Especially with strangers.
Well, yeah. I get butterflies. I have a bad case of butterflies. I used to be so good. Like, I used to not worry about it, but as I got older, you just get fucking more anxieties as you get older. It sucks.
Are you a MILF guy?
Well, yeah. Well, see, since I'm from a younger family, or I'm the youngest of family, I like older women, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, what's your ideal woman? How old are they? So you're 35, 33?
It's 35, so I like them around probably like 37, 38.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. I was expecting like 55.
No.
Like,
no. Like when I was younger, like if I was in my 20s, I liked like 30, 40-year-olds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what's up. You ever hooked up with an older woman?
40s, late 40s.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Did they teach you the ways of love?
No, not really, but it's kind of just like, low effort.
Low effort?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the exact opposite. If you're trying to look for older women, you got to have high effort.
No, not really. Everyone's tired. Everybody's really worn out.
I say I can't relate because I'm with the woman of my dreams.
That's good, man. I'm telling you, like I like being in a relationship.
Are you a relationship guy?
Yeah.
See, I absolutely am a relationship guy.
Yeah, my last one, I was for 5 years, and when we first started dating, I told her like 5 years we'll ask like serious questions, and I knew at the end I was like, I really like being here, but you're not the one I want to be with forever. So.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
5 years, man.
Yeah, I think that was enough time.
Mikey's looking for love.
Well, now you're getting older, and like, I don't know if I can have that. I can put that on another lady if that works. Because if I tell her the story, I'll be like, okay, in 3 years we'll ask questions. She's like, fuck you, you're gonna dump me in 3 years. And I'm like, oh, you're such a good listener.
Oh, Mikey. Well, it's been a fucking absolute.
It's been.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a while.
Where can people see you?
They can see me on Instagram at MikeyMckernan.com. No, just at Mikey McKernan.
Just
my website, MikeyMckernan.com. I will be headlining the House of Bards in Tucson August 7th. I will be in Reno August 28th. I forget what the venue is because it keeps changing. So yeah, MikeyMckernan.com for tickets. Follow me on Instagram, please.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Give him a follow. He's an amazingly funny, awesome dude. I've already said amazing. I'll say it one more time, amazing. Make sure you follow the podcast. That is the Basement Dweller podcast on YouTube. That is TBD_Jacob on Twitter. We just changed the Instagram. That's the_basement_dwellers on Instagram. Robert, do you have anything to plug?
Final words. This is your voice.
I have my Twitter, Robert2Dope96.
That's TOO.
Yeah, Two Dope. I mean, I think people would understand that.
You would think, but
knew how to spell, but
you're right.
So I'm on Instagram at _Bizzer96 and Twitch, I guess, at I think it's Big Rob 03.
Spelled the usual way.
Yeah, just like that.
Awesome. Yeah, give us a follow. Also, a super big announcement. We will be eventually getting to some new intro and outro music. We finally will give Robert the proper introduction that he deserves.
Oh, we secured it, dude?
Oh, yeah, we definitely secured it.
Hell
So
yeah.
we'll work into that. Definitely give Mikey a follow. He's an amazing human being and a funny comedian. With that being said, Robert, as always, thanks for joining me. I love you lots. Mikey, have an awesome night. Thanks for coming on.
Good to have you on, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down to the basement. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave a rating and review to help other people find out about the show. Got a question? Email Jacob at tbdmanchild@gmail.com or find him on Instagram at basement_dwelling_Jacob, Twitter at TBD_Jacob, and YouTube, The Basement Dweller. We will see you real soon.